Getting marriage counseling was not something that I ever thought that I would do, but it is the one thing that absolutely made the biggest impact on my marriage and taking it from something that was broken and painful and turning it into something that is amazing and such a blessing. When I first got married, I had no idea what I was doing. I was almost 21 when we got married, and so very young. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know myself, and I entered into a relationship without any idea of what a healthy marriage should look like. So I had my own internal baggage and I had my own internal struggles and a lack of awareness, even that I was even struggling at such a deep level. And so my husband and I had been married for 6 years before we ever went and got counseling. And we had just gotten to the point where we were in a season where life was just so hard. We were trying to start a business. We had a 2-year-old and a brand new baby at home. We were not making enough money. We were not succeeding in any area, and we were not able to communicate or to work through any of our problems or struggles. We would have the same fight over and over and over again, or the same couple of fights over and over and over again every few months. And so what would happen is we wouldn't talk about it. We would just kind of live our life and take care of the kids and run the business and, think that everything was okay. And then the tension would build and build and build. And we missed all the signs. And so then we would get to this breaking point and, a fight would ensue and it would be ugly and it would be painful and we wouldn't know how to get through it. And so we would both just get very frustrated. And then we wouldn't talk for a few days. And then we would just kind of like make up and go back to just the regular daily life. So whenever we had those fights, we were never working through the problem. We were never addressing the root issue. We weren't solving anything. We were just in this vicious cycle over and over and over again, and we didn't know how to get out. And so with just getting to the point where we really were just neither of us was happy. We were stuck. And that is just a place where as a couple you don't want to be, but at the same time it feels helpless and it feels like there's no answer and it feels like there's nothing you can do and you don't know what to do, because if you knew what to do you would do it. So at that point we were desperate. I mean, it was like everything we had tried wasn't working. We always found ourselves in the same cycle and we needed to do something different. And so we actually decided to go, and at first we went and sat down with a pastor, and a pastor kind of helped us talk through some things. And he was the one who was like, you guys need more help than I can give you. And he actually recommended us to a counselor. And that is what started a 3-year journey of going to marriage counseling, and not only going to marriage counseling, but also realizing that really a lot of those issues, they were issues that I needed counseling on and he needed counseling on. Like we had our own baggage and our own issues and our own fears and trauma that we needed to work through on our own to become a more healthy, whole individual, so that we could bring that whole healthy self into the marriage. Because at that point we were both two broken, shattered people trying to make a relationship work, and that just wasn't going to cut it. You need whole, complete people in order to bring into a relationship with two people to make a marriage be healthy and successful. And so we went through 3 years of working on our own issues, doing some one-on-one sessions, and then doing some together sessions with each other. And I remember even 6 months in, even 18 months in, feeling like we weren't getting anywhere, feeling like we were making progress, but it's like it wasn't better yet. And it ended up being a 5-year transformation process. It ended up taking 3 years of counseling to work through a lot of those issues, to learn how to talk to each other, to learn how to work through fights and through issues, and to listen to each other and to come out on the other side of a fight and it have been productive. It be good, us find resolution and to get to the point where we weren't having the same fight over and over again. And then it took another 2 years after that of living it out and working through those things and continuing to go deeper and deeper and deeper, building on trust, finding ways to spend more time and have more fun, and seeing each other and appreciating each other. And anyway, to get to that point where 5 years later, it was a completely different marriage. It was something that was life-giving. It was something that was beautiful. It was something that there was trust and there was vulnerability and there was intimacy, and it became a gift. And I see so many marriages today where people are struggling, and all I can say to that is there is beauty on the other side. If you get through the season, and if you do the hard work, and if you really make a commitment to changing yourself and addressing what you need to address, and seeking God in it, and by God's grace and His mercy, that there is a beauty in marriage and there is a gift in marriage. And if you do what you can do to get through the other side, it is worth it. It is so worth it. It is one of the most special things in my life. And I'm so grateful that we had people who were there to walk us through the hard season and to speak life into us and to pray over us, that we could get through it, and that it was worth all the work, and it was worth all the pain, and it was worth all of just the tough conversations to really look at ourselves and feel like, what do I need to do as a person to become my healthiest self, so that I can be a better wife, and so I can be a better mother, and so that I can have better, healthier relationships in my life. And if we needed the help, and that was the one thing that our counselor said when we first sat down. He said, if you had been able to figure this out on your own, you would have. You would have. So it is not a sign of weakness. It is not something bad that if you get to the point and you're going through the same thing over and over, and you kind of feel like you're in this cycle of realizing that it's okay to get help. And it is one of the best things that you could do for yourself and for your marriage and for your family in the future. And I'm just so grateful for that journey, and just have a heart to see other marriages be able to work through those obstacles and find that beauty on the other side.